Okay, in this video, we're going to tackle why paying extra on your mortgage actually keeps you stuck. So I'm going to break down this video into four main topics. The first one, where does that advice come from to begin with, of paying extra? How interest is actually calculated when you do pay extra, why extra payments help but do not optimize, and it's not the most efficient way. And then the last one, the ignored role of what we call cash flow timing. So let's tackle it. Where does this advice come from? Financial gurus, financial entertainers, and quite honestly, common sense. If you don't know that there's an alternative, paying extra on your mortgage does help. So people don't want to be strapped to having a mortgage for their entire life, even though most Americans do. They die with a mortgage, hence why it's called death pledge. Most people don't realize that mortgage is Old French and translates to death pledge. Being mortality, gage being a contract, so translates to death pledge. So that advice just comes from common sense, logic, saying, hey, pay extra on it because you don't want to have this debt hanging over your head forever. And if you pay extra, you will eventually get it paid off. A lot of people talk about biweekly payments. Biweekly payments helps, but if you have a 30-year term, you could get that knocked down to 25, 24 years. So you still got 24 to 25 years if you keep the same mortgage just by paying extra or doing biweekly payments. Now, how is the interest calculated? The problem is mortgages are still front-loaded with interest. So the other thing is when you pay extra, you need to make sure that your mortgage holder doesn't apply that extra that you sent in to future payments. Because if you don't denote it as, hey, I want this to go directly towards principal, guess what they will do? They're going to hang on to your money and then send it towards, let's say we're in January, they're going to send it towards February and March payment, right? So you don't actually effectively reduce the principal, you're just prepaying interest. So mortgages are front loaded with interest, that way they're massively profitable for banks and lenders. As I've said in a previous video, when you do a mortgage, especially a 30-year mortgage, you're buying two homes, one for the bank and one for you in that particular order. The other thing is why extra payments help, but they don't optimize. Like I said, it reduces the term. If you got a 30-year term and you're doing biweekly payments or one extra payment a year, you're going to knock off 5, maybe 6 years off of your mortgage. But it doesn't optimize it because although you're reducing principal faster, not a lot faster, you still don't have access to that capital. So you're building equity in your home. Not only is the home appreciating, but now the principal is going down. You're locking up those funds into the bank or lender's treasure chest with no access to it unless you do two things, one of two things, refinance or sell. Now you could start off in the right product, which in my opinion would be a home equity line of credit. So that would be another way outside of refinancing and selling is getting an equity loan. I shouldn't say equity loan, a home equity line of credit. Some people make that mistake. We're like, I'm going to go get a home equity loan. You're getting another mortgage on top of a mortgage. You actually compound the problem, when the best way to do it is to get a simple interest line of credit, like a home equity line of credit, and apply all of your income into that. So that kind of leads me to the last topic, which is one of my favorites, is the ignored role of cash flow timing. Mortgages, the mortgages that we utilize today, by and large, as Americans, is less than 100 years old. We hear the term mortgage and like, okay, that's been around, Old French, hundreds of years. It's just normal. It's the way that people have always been doing it. That is not the case. Here in America, that all changed in 1913. Once the Federal Reserve came into play and you have the ability for banks to execute what's called fractional reserve lending. So a mortgage came about after the Federal Reserve creation in 1913. The modern day mortgage did. It made it an installment loan, a closed-end product, where a home equity line of credit is still a simple interest open-end product where money can move in and out freely. Think of your checking account. Can you put money in whenever you want? Yeah. Can you take money out whenever you want? Yes. Well, a home equity line of credit works the same way. So instead of having a checking account where you deposit your money, it sits in there at 0.5%, which is the national average. Doesn't keep up with inflation. It's actually going backwards. So having more money in a checking account or a savings account is actually a bad use of stored funds because that money's not doing anything for you, yet cost of goods and services are going up. Nor is that money going towards the principal of any debt. Where if you had a home equity line of credit, you actually are performing two of those functions. One, it's a vessel to store cash, and it's liquid 24/7, especially in a digital world. But two, you're also reducing the principal. And the way interest works on a home equity line of credit is when money goes in, it goes to principal first, and then interest is calculated. It's called per diem or daily interest. So instead of storing money over here, I'm going to store money in my home equity line of credit, which reduces the balance. I maintain liquidity, which means I get to also pay my bills anytime I want to outside of my home equity line of credit. And my surplus continues to stay in there, keeping the balance low, thus reducing the interest, which also speeds up the payoff time frame. Now, up until this point, if you've liked this video and you've learned a lot, we've got a lot more to teach you. But along the way, I would love for you to like and subscribe to our channel because it helps us grow the channel and get our message out to more people and to be able to help more people. So if that's you, please like and subscribe. It's definitely going to help us out. But back to my original point, home equity line of credit versus a mortgage. Not only you pay it off faster, but you maintain liquidity along the way. And when you have access to capital, guess what your eyes are now open to? Opportunities, maybe other investments. Maybe you want to buy a rental property. Maybe you want to buy a vacation home. Maybe you want to buy other investments. Maybe you want to contribute more to your 401k. Maybe you want to buy some insurance policies on your wife and your kids and create your own family bank. Well, you can do that now that you've got this vessel over here that's been storing cash and capital that's 100% liquid anytime you need access to it. Now that's in a thriving world. In the surviving world, it's also beneficial because in a mortgage, if you were to lose your income, do you have access to your equity? No. Because at the time that you actually need your equity, you can't get access to it. Because what are the banks going to require you to do if you want to get access to your equity in the mortgage world? Prove the ability to repay, which requires what? Income. However, on a home equity line of credit, you establish that on the front end. So as you're paying it down, you still have access to the limit on that line of credit. So you're liquid. So in a moment that you need to survive, it almost acts like an insurance policy. Income goes down, no problem, just use the line of credit to pay your bills, including the line of credit itself, which is why in 2008 and 2009 and 10, folks with a first lien position home equity line of credit had a default rate 115 times lower than people with a mortgage. What does that tell you? People with mortgages foreclosed at a rate 115 times higher than people with a home equity line of credit. Why? Because of what I just mentioned before. They had access to equity when they needed it the most. So, hope you liked this video. Again, like and subscribe. Y'all take care. God bless.